Welcome to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the More You Knows Podcasting Network. You're in the ring with Jimmy, Rod, and Chris. And wrestling is fun again, gentlemen. So let's start off on a most positive note. Chris, give me an old man take.
The greatest 5-minute and 46-second title reign that WWE has ever seen. Phenomenal. Breathtaking. It's the savior of WrestleMania.
Of course, you stay on brand, going with your gimmick, talking about your boy, who had a very interesting 5-minute title run. Rod, what are you hot about today?
Well, listen, let's not make too much fun of Chris for staying on brand, all right? Because I have got to just say I'm sad. I'm sad. All signs point to my guy walking away for a little while. There's even talk of maybe a back surgery here, which I do not love at all. So I just kind of wish I'd have been like that kid standing in the tunnel in the old Mean Joe Green ad, Jimmy, when Seth Rollins came walking by after that title match. So I could have just offered him up a Coke and said, Seth, it's going to be all right, man. You made this title out of nothing. You've wrestled your ass off for nearly 3 years. You've been the best wrestler in the company for 2 years. You helped Cody Rhodes finish his story, even though no one will give you the credit for it other than me when we get there. And so I just, flowers to my guy. Flowers, flowers, flowers. I'm going to miss him.
How cool was it that Seth Rollins was the actual shield that prevented Roman Reigns from destroying Cody Rhodes and letting Cody Rhodes finish his story? I will tell you guys, we all kind of thought the Avengers Assemble ending would happen. They did it. And honestly, ear to ear smiles. I thought it was a terrific end. Even Roman Reigns was smiling when he got pinned. Mostly because he's like, good, I can take a break, and I was going to yell at me now. What a terrific ending to have. You have Jimmy come out, Jay take care of him real quick. We like that. You have Cena come out, or Solo come out, and then Cena comes out to kind of avenge that little situation that happened. Rock comes out, takes care of Cena pretty quick, which was fun. And then the gong, the bell, the Undertaker appears out of nowhere.
Wait a minute, Jimmy, wait a minute now. When you heard the Shield with the beginnings, right, with all of their voices, did you somehow think to yourself, just maybe Triple H just pulled this off and Jon Moxley is about to walk out with Seth Rollins? Did you just think that for a second?
He was literally in Mexico City, I think, at that time. No, I did not.
Janitors League the way that you do. So I let myself be there for a second. I was like, you know what? Maybe, right? This is WrestleMania. It's a big deal. Put the blood feud down. They could pay a bunch of money for a one-time appearance. But come on, you've crossed over my guy Seth, who got dispatched of quickly so that then we could, and Jimmy
get the end. Yeah. So Roman Reigns takes care of Seth, who probably couldn't really walk very well. Shout out to Seth there. Undertaker comes up behind Rock. Excellent camera work. Very well done. Does not help Cody win, and that was key. No one really helped Cody win there at all. Cody got the win on his own. 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. And then the sheer joy. I mean, it really is interesting. They say wrestling is fake. They say it's scripted. It's a movie. Well, when you're an actor and you do a great job in a movie and you get awarded something, by an academy, if you will, it's a pretty cool moment. And this is kind of a lifelong dream of his. You could see it in his face. Everyone was happy for him. What a terrific moment by all, Chris.
Yeah, it's nice. And it's much like taking the bow at the end of a play, essentially. And a lot of the guys up there. And I'm going to give some more flowers to Rod's guy, Seth. I got to get this off my chest. The dude pulled in like a triple shift over the weekend, quadruple shift, if you want to count Friday. So you got to give him all the credit in the world for being able to do what he did while suffering as he was. During the celebration, he was being helped and held up, and you could tell he was in pain even then. But it was a phenomenal ending, and I'm glad it was a clean pin.
Throw your comments in the chat. What was your favorite part about WrestleMania, and why was it Drew McIntyre being defeated by Damian Priest in a cash-in, just because of Chris. Throw it in there, and we'll talk about it for sure. You are listening to the Yeah We Know podcast. We are talking WrestleMania right now. What a terrific end. So in the past, we've had 2 night WrestleManias for a few
Jimmy,
years.
can I ask a question though about the Avengers ending? Did
Sure.
we get the Undertaker? Did we get the American Badass, or did we get just Mad Mark Calloway? Which guy actually was in the ring there for the choke slam? Which one of those characters was it? Because it kind of just looked like Mad Mark Calloway.
I think it might have been upset Mark Calloway, perhaps. He was under the ring for a while, I'm assuming. You could even see his arm underneath there, I think, earlier in the match when Cody got the table out and then Roman put it back in. Yeah, that was kind of odd a little bit, but that's fine. It's The Undertaker. I think it was a nice little swerve. Everyone thought it was going to be Austin.
Don't you think it was the Taker, though? Because Austin is suffering from still looking good. And the minute we get Austin back in the ring with Rock, who just looked good for 40 minutes the previous night, we're going to want it. And all of us have just kind of accepted that Mark Calloway is over and done and he's retired. But it also is kind of cool because aren't the WWE sort of saying, no, hold on, Rock. The Undertaker's the final boss.
Oh, nice. I like that. Well, he did, and he destroyed The Rock, and they both disappeared, and Cody gets the win. I just thought that
Which I thought was too much, by the way. You didn't throw to me for that, but I thought it was too much, Jim. It was too much, and here's why. We'll get to Raw, but you don't get to have in the ring what you had in the ring at the end of WrestleMania, and then take up the entire first hour of Raw after WrestleMania for the same jibber jabber, but we'll get there.
I think the Raw after WrestleMania is, generally speaking, a time for new beginnings. And it's a time where you're not going to see a lot of people wrestle, as we saw, because people are exhausted and then went through everything. But yeah, that was a long first segment there, a 43-minute segment. We'll get to that
there, though,
we have
Jimmy.
a lot more to talk about.
I'm not trying to hijack it.
I want to talk about the pacing of night 2 compared to the pacing of night 1. Night 2's WrestleMania went so fast. Everything was on par. Everything was great. Night 1's WrestleMania was very slow. For some reason, the match, everything that happened was fine. Night 2 just went better. And honestly, it had a lot, I think, to do with the fans. And Triple H said it was right. The fans could feel their feet. And night 1 was horrible. Nick Khan talked about it on a podcast where he said that they're not going to really go out to the East Coast anymore for WrestleMania outdoors, which makes sense. But unbelievable quick pacing that had on night 2. I really enjoyed that. Let's just dive in. Night 1 WrestleMania. We hear that Becky Lynch had strep throat, 100 and whatever degree fever the entire week leading up to WrestleMania. Becky started things off. I think the right person won, Chris. And what did you think about the match as someone who really hasn't seen these two wrestle before?
I thought it was a good opener. I thought it was a solid match. And I also agree. I think Rhea needed to win to keep this whole persona of her as being in charge of the women's division. I thought Becky was a perfect match for her, one that we haven't seen in a while. So maybe they keep this feud going. We'll see.
Rod, were you a big fan of the live performance of Rhea's band by the Really Scary People?
No, I was definitely not a fan of that, but I am a fan of Rhea Ripley. I am a huge fan of Becky Lynch. Chris, I take umbrage with you saying that it was a solid match. I think it actually could be one of the best 3 matches of the 2-day weekend, to be honest with you. We just forget about it because it was the first one in a long sequence of matches. But Jimmy, you're our guy to go to on this. How much should we read into the fact that Becky Lynch has been pretty open about contract at this point, and hers is about to run out soon, and her man is about to go away for a little while? How much should we read into that with her not winning this match? But I do agree that the right person won.
I think that because her man is going away a little while, it's a nice time for her to go away a little while, just to refresh, reboot. She took the L on the way out. Maybe she gets drafted to SmackDown to start some new things off. Maybe Rollins gets drafted to SmackDown. You never know on that. I think that I wouldn't read too much. I don't think she's going anywhere. She's not going to go to AEW.
Yeah, that's very true.
No
She's
way.
Definitely not. But just
why would she go to AEW?
Yeah, I don't know why you'd want to go wrestle with those janitors. I absolutely don't know why anybody would want to do it. But apparently, one of the wrestlers who's on Mount Rushmore of all-time wrestlers, Chris Jericho, he does it. And then also the rated R superstar, Adam Copeland. But other than that, I recognize no one over there until MJF ultimately comes over, and then I will recognize him.
You will acknowledge MJF. I like that. Six-pack ladder match for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. I think the crowd was confused on this because the belts were completely away from each other. So then, therefore, yes, there are going to be two winners. And Chris, I'm going to give you credit for that because you really did say that first. I think you were the first one to go when we guessed that. Awesome Truth, I thought was an easy pick for one of them. Very easy pick, and all three of us got that right. None of us got Grayson Waller and your
It's
boy.
perfect, though. It's perfect.
Theory. It is. You got to have some bad guys doing that. DIY was a little. I wish that would happen. But
the
I thought
hatred that's going to be on screen, Jimmy, when A-Town Down goes against Pretty Deadly on SmackDown. I mean, the heat coming off the screens when those two do battle. I mean, people are not going to know what to do with themselves. They're going to hate both teams. It's going to be fabulous.
Chris, this is your first the six-pack challenge ladder match for tag teams here. I love this match. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was scary at times. Gargano and Ciampa don't even care how old they are. They don't care about their families. They don't care about their kids, which was really, I just enjoyed this match a lot, Chris.
It was a lot of fun. All right. And it was a lot of fun. And then you add R-Truth to that, waiting for a tag in the ladder match.
My boy.
Counting his own pin down. I mean, let me tell you, he tore Finn Balor up there and was fantastic. But the whole thing, and you're right, it was dangerous. We had ladder buckling at one point,
yes,
and two people on said ladder at the time. Like it was crazy fun. It's what we as wrestling fans love.
Shout out Jessica Carr trying to get Damian Priest to stop using
that was so
ladder,
funny.
He said, "Get off of me."
She's like, no. And then he got up. He's like, oh, my bad. I'm going to die. So we finally had, so it was weird because Waller and Theory got the belts pretty quick, about 8 minutes in. And then
they basically died. They basically died. They were not to be heard of.
Yeah. We'll talk about a tag team on night 2 that was basically died and didn't come back either. Like Karrion Kross get killed. But anyway, in a match that was changed last minute on SmackDown, it was Rey and Andrade versus Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio. Another fun match. Could have easily been one of those matches that kind of just slid underneath. Whenever you put another human being on your shoulders and do a double high cross body outside, I'm in for it, Rod.
Yeah, listen, man, anytime that these group of fellas that we all got brewing into a thing right now, anytime you get them in the ring, I'm all for it. It's kind of like when we had the Brawling Brutes doing their thing, right? You know, when like you get them in any combination against Imperium, I was on board with it. And we have a new one. And these guys, because they're going to be going off the top ropes, they're going to be doing the one thing that the Joaquin Wild guy does where he gets slingshotted off the ropes, right? We're going to just be
that was awesome.
We're going to be doing all types of crazy moves out of those guys. And Andrade looks like $1 million damn dollars.
He does look very good. They almost missed that slingshot. They almost missed that slingshot. And I will tell you, the production was fantastic. The different camera angles that we keep getting, different views of everything is top notch. We've got to give a shout out to all the new producers.
Some of those shots of guys flying through the air are just phenomenal. And I believe they've been dubbed, Rod, the LWO aerial show. So that's what we have to look forward to.
I like that.
I got to go no yeet on this next one, guys.
Yeah. Wow. I was surprised.
This one died. I don't know if it was a combination of the cold, the length, and it just didn't. This was not the match I was expecting between Jimmy and Jay. No. Yeah, they tried to prime
the pumps. They tried to prime the pumps a little bit with Jay saying that ultimately he wants to, his family back, right? So but it like you said, Jimmy, it fell flat. When Jimmy's sitting there begging for his life, like that he's
everyone.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And then like Jay, come on, we know that you're kind of yeet, you just run into stuff, but like you're smarter than this, and then he falls for it, and I was hoping for so much more out of this match because I think both of them more Jay than Jimmy, and that's why I think Jay's closer to the top of the card, but are phenomenal wrestlers.
And Chris, I think this match I think would have been better, unfortunately, is like the SmackDown main event on Friday before.
I mean, so I don't know.
Did you
Rod
love it?
Like, no,
Okay.
but it's what I expected. Like, I wasn't expecting more than super kick after super kick after super kick after super kick after super kick. And that's essentially what we got with some additional third rope action thrown in. But like, that's basically all I get from the Usos anytime either one of them is out there. And to me, that seems like a one trick pony.
Yeah, I just the heart wasn't there. There's something not there for some reason. Even on night 2 when Jay speared Jimmy through 2 tables off the ramp, that had more excitement than this entire match. It really did. And I no, great they got to wrestle each other at WrestleMania. It kind of fell flat. Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi versus Damage Control. It's exactly what it had to be. They had to set up for Jade Cargill to come in and kill people, and she did, and she's going to be a star. So I thought this was a fun match too, Rod.
We need to keep the microphone as far away from Jade Cargill as we can. We
She did talk a lot on Friday.
We need to figure out a way to continue to tell stories with her having to not talk, right? If you could just not talk, it would be better. I just think that's where we need to continue to go with her. And apparently, Jimmy, Kairi Sane was disrespecting other wrestlers and acting a fool. I saw Mark Henry was all types of torn up about this one, and I didn't quite understand it. Do you have any light you can shine on this?
Well, if you watch it again, Kairi Sane walks out of the ring. It takes her a little longer to get out of the ring than I guess normally it would. And that's extremely disrespectful. And I honestly think she should be fired for it.
You're totally
I'm joking. I'm joking, Chris. Yeah. I'm joking. This is it's one of those things that people look at and overanalyze.
It's like the unwritten rule in baseball, not to flip your bat or something weird like that.
Kind of like when you go into the wrestling ring, you wipe your boots off before you go in. Kind of one of those things where get out, give the person their entry and their gimmick and everything. I really wasn't that concerned about it. So we are getting very late into the evening right now, and we have 2 matches left, and we know they're both going to go long. And I think the crowd was very tired. But for Gunther and Sami Zayn, they got up. And Sami Zayn, let's go. Sami Zayn gets a huge win. Everyone loves it. People enjoy wrestling when they see things happen that are cool. This was a very good match. And I loved everything about it. I thought that the story of Sammy walking to the ring beforehand was done perfectly. The only thing I question is why they didn't bring his son out after the match. I was really expecting Kevin Owens to bring him out. Other than that, I think it was perfect, Rod.
Yeah, listen, I love Sami Zayn. Incredible 2 straight WrestleMania. Sami Zayn is winning himself a belt, right? I mean, this is a guy who was, Canadian indies that nobody ever thought would be anything. And now look at where he's at the last 2 years. I love KO, chapping him on the chest, all the above. I got to go to what Paul Triple H Levesque, which apparently is what we're going with now. We got to call him Paul Triple H Levesque, said after the match. Those 2 guys draw emotion out of you better than any other wrestlers on the card. And I honestly didn't think of it until he said it. And I'm like, no, he's absolutely right. There's nobody that you buy into them getting beat down in the course of a match better than Sami Zayn, right? Like you're like, oh my God, how can he keep doing it? And then you're so fired up when he does that weird thing on the mat and he gets himself back up, kind of his version of hulking up. Yeah. When he does all that, and then there's nobody better other than possibly Roman Reigns, and that's why he was at the top of the card, but of just sheer dominance, right? Like just a 3-4 minute stretch in a match where you just say to yourself, how in the world is anybody ever beaten this guy? And that's what Gunther does. So he's got Sammy down in the depths, and he comes back. Chef's kiss, man. Love that match. And we said that one was probably going to be a sneaky match of the weekend, and it probably definitely was.
If you have any comments, questions, anything like that about WrestleMania, how do you think, what do you think our opinions are? Whatever. Throw them in the chat. If you're on Twitter, throw them, reply to the tweet that you are watching right now, and Facebook. Please throw a comment in. We will definitely talk about it. Chris, did you like the story here? Because I know you're a big story guy. I know you wanted Gunther to continue to win. I'm glad you did, because I picked Zayn and you picked Gunther, and I think that actually got me the win. But
I was happy. Listen, I was thrown for a loop. I thought they were going to have Gunther win. I didn't think they were going to give Sammy the title. I do like a story that they're working up with him and Rod's boy, Chad Gable. I wish they had maybe worked on that for a little bit longer instead of like a few nights before WrestleMania to give that a little bit more. But in the long run, I think it was great. I think this gives Gunther an opportunity to work towards a more top tier belt.
So this was a very smart crowd as well, because when Sami Zayn was on the top rope and he put Gunther's arm over his shoulder, they knew he was going to go old school and he was going to do that top rope brainbuster, the El Generico. And that is such a cool spot, such a dangerous spot, but a very cool spot. And you knew then it was over. And what a great win. What a great celebration for Sammy. Really leaving the fans happy on that one. So I think that was pretty cool.
And thank goodness for that.
Yes, because the next match, The Rock, I don't know if you know this about The Rock, gentlemen. The Rock goes long on everything that he does, and Rod is changing his pants right now, so that's fine. Okay, we just got to take that up. We're just going to pull that up right there, and we have Greatness Awaits. So Rod is doing, for those of you listening right now, Rod did have a Seth Rollins shirt on. He is changing to his Paul Heyman Roman Reigns shirt, the head of the table, obviously.
Acknowledge greatness, Jimmy.
This was a very long match. Very long match. They did a lot of smoke and mirrors, went in the crowd for a very long time and didn't do too much. Rock pins Cody, though. Who would have thought? I did. We have the next 2 WrestleMania main events done, by the way, guys. We have Rock and Cody, and then we have Roman and Rock over the next couple of years. Just think about that for a sec. That's pretty cool. I thought this was fine. I thought Rock looked good. You could tell that it took him a while to get warmed up, because I believe it was almost 40 minutes between the bell of Sami Zayn and the start of this match. That's a long time, and I think that really hurt a lot, Rod.
Oh, of course it did. But I mean, we know Roman Reigns for long entrances. And so, of course, the Rock's entrance with the final boss and all of that, you know what I mean? Which was kind of cool. Let's not kid ourselves. That was kind of cool.
Oh, it's a great
put
entrance.
put a little spin on the Rock like that was great. And listen, let's not sell the Rock short here. He looked friggin' fabulous. All right. Let's not speak about his wrestling ability yet, because as you said, I think it was probably like 40 degrees outside too by the time it got to that late in the night. You know what I mean? And he's wearing just the trunks. I mean, so he's got to be pretty chilly out there, but he looked chiseled as hell. I cannot believe that man is 50 something years old. It's ridiculous.
People were worried he was going to go with the pants, but no. Our boy goes with the trunks. Don't think he doesn't there. So, Chris, what'd you think about this overly produced match, I would say?
I don't care. Take all my money. I want it all the time.
I love you, Chris. That's awesome. Good.
It was all nostalgia for me. Listen, when I stopped watching, Rock was big. Now I'm back. Rock came back. I love that shit. I'm sorry. I love that stuff. But
it's appropriate though in a Rock segment, right? It's appropriate in a Rock segment because he keeps cursing everywhere.
I know he doesn't. He's the final boss, Rod. He doesn't have to answer to anybody. So
we are not the final boss, though, Chris. Jimmy is the final boss. We have to answer to him.
It was everything I wanted. I didn't care what happened or how long it took or how cold those people were. It was everything I wanted. Give me more.
I love what you said, smoke and mirrors, Jim, right? Because I think that's definitely a good way to put it, right? If you tuned into this match, you were like, hey, that's cool. The Rock's wrestling, and these are things that I've seen before. But guys like you and I, we can be like, wait a minute, there's not actually a whole lot going on here. So, you got to protect the Rock a little bit. We knew that going in, since that's why it was going to be a tag match. But to look as good as he looked, I mean, come on. It's fabulous. I'm with Chris. I'm all about it. Give it to me. Roman Reigns. We're going to have time to give Roman Reigns his love when we get to night 2, but come on.
So that was night 1 at WrestleMania. A couple other things I wanted to hit on too. It was very cold, as everyone has said. Pat McAfee even said, it is a lot colder than I thought it was going to be out here. Michael Cole kept giving the weather report, and I think they did that just to kind of tell people, hey, that's why people are freezing. They're not really as into it. But again, it was a good night. I thought it was a little slower pace than I would have liked. Probably had one too many matches. I think if you take one match out, it would have been even better. Other than the Rock and the main event going a little long, I thought everything else was pretty much timed okay there. We need to talk about real quick before we get to night two, very quickly. Paul Heyman, his speech for the Hall of Fame was one for the ages. He became ECW Paul Heyman. Stephanie McMahon was wearing her old school ECW Stephanie McMahon hat. We'll talk about her in a second as well. Wow. He did not hold it back anything. He thanked everybody. I thought that was a terrific induction, Rod.
Yeah, listen, I mean, he's known for talking. So if he went up there and gave a terrible Hall of Fame speech, I think that would be a little bit more of a front page story than the fact that he was absolutely fabulous up there. But we got The Undertaker a couple of years ago holding court for quite a while. And I think we only remember The Undertaker's as being long, and we're going to remember Heyman's as being great. And listen, all praise to Paul Heyman, right? The more and more stories I hear about Paul Heyman, the little tricks and tips that he's given to guys over the years. I mean, just the way he has shaped wrestling and where we're at right now, he absolutely deserves his flowers.
I am a Paul Levesque guy, he even said, which I thought was kind of neat. Chris, did you watch the speech yet?
I have not seen the whole speech, unfortunately, but I have seen enough. But like Rod's right, like this guy that we're talking about is one of the great microphone guys, managers the WWE wrestling as a whole has ever seen, right?
Yep.
So why wouldn't he be one to give a great speech? So I am glad he delivered.
So night two starts off with Stephanie McMahon. How about her last year and a half? Personally, professionally, I think it was really cool to see her back and being that Stephanie McMahon that she is. She's not back, I don't think. But it's cool to have her back, and it was nice to see her there, Rod.
Oh, listen, you know me. I love some Stephanie McMahon. I was incredibly excited to see that someone with that last name was allowed to be on the product, because that means that my guy, Shane O'Mac, he can make his triumphant return at some point as well and get the incredible pops that Stephanie McMahon got. But you know who else was incredibly excited to see Stephanie McMahon there, Jimmy? Paul Triple H Levesque. And anything that makes Paul Triple H Levesque happy is probably good for us in the wrestling business.
We all do love Paul Triple H Levesque, Chris, don't we?
Of course, this is the new era, right? And
I haven't heard anything about that. Sorry.
So everything so far has been better than it was in the more recent past from what you guys have told me. This is wrestling is fun again, right? Wrestling is fun again, so I'm all for it. Give me more.
Oh yeah, if we should actually maybe next week we should go through what would have happened at WrestleMania if the other person was still involved. Night two starts off with Seth and Drew, and got to give it to Seth Rollins. He came dressed for both nights. I don't even know. I still don't listen. I am not a narcotics user. Okay. I do not take much of, but I can imagine whatever Seth was coming out at. If I would have taken something, that's what I would have seen. I don't know, Chris. You're heavily intoxicated all the time on your arthritis pills. What was that?
There have been many of nights over the last couple years that I have asked, what is Seth Rollins smoking? Where does he find it? How does he come across things like that? And then who does he get to make these crazy visions into reality? Because I have no idea. It is insane.
Rod, you know what? You need to take care of us, because let us know what's going on. It was awesome.
You guys are haters, man. You guys are absolute haters.
Terrific.
Seth Rollins has given his body to you for 3 years, and you guys are just trashing his vibrant choices in ring attire, okay? Neil Diamond, back in the day, wore sequin shirts. And somebody asked him, Neil, Why do you wear sequin shirts? They don't seem that cool. And do you want to know what Neil said? Neil said, I want everybody in that arena to be able to see me. They paid for a show. I've given them a show. Seth Rollins is a show. And apparently, you two jokers didn't listen to the commentary because they told us all about how all of those guys are like a local Philadelphia tradition and they have this parade and Seth was joining them. Way to pay attention to the commentary, boys.
No, we saw it. It was awesome. Don't get me wrong. It's just something that
apparently it wasn't because you guys just spent the last 2 minutes trashing him. You're sitting here in a Brahma Bull t-shirt. Chris is wearing, oh, shocker, something Indiana University again. I'm the one who came double dressed for this podcast, and you two jokers are making fashion disses. Something's gone horribly wrong here.
All right, Rod, as a huge fan of Seth and someone who was also knew what was going to happen, what'd you think of the match? How do you think our boy did, even though he was hurting a little bit there? And by a little bit, I mean a lot. Overall, what are your thoughts on the match?
I think it was absolutely what it needed to be, right? Drew is a bona fide ass kicker. I mean, he just is. The guy wrestles matches. You know what I mean? The way he hits those claymores is just fabulous. All chef's kisses to Drew McIntyre. And I completely did not even think about the way CM Punk would get involved in that match, right? And I'm mad at myself for not seeing that from a mile off, but we should probably go to Chris at this point.
Yep. You're all right, bud?
So in that 5 minutes of 46 seconds of the greatest heavyweight championship reign the WWE has ever seen, I was a bit shocked to see the arm brace come off and be used as a weapon.
Terrific.
So CM Punk has to be destroyed, right? I mean, there's no
question.
There's no other way to go about this, so I expect that to happen fairly soon, whether it's in the ring or outside the ring. I just think that CM Punk has made a very, very huge mistake and has written a check that his butt can't cash.
I love that Chris is like, CM Punk made a mistake. He's in big trouble. That was awesome. That is the way you take this feud from good to nuclear. And I believe I texted you guys that as soon as it happened. I'm like, what a great idea. As you saw, I don't know if you know, Drew McIntyre, not very happy about what happened. Said some stuff on Raw. CM Punk flipping the shirt around on Drew McIntyre with Drew McIntyre's grave. CM Punk. Chef's kiss. Loved it. This is going to be a war, Rod.
Yeah, I guess. I still continue to just not be excited by CM Punk. I am smart enough to understand that I have to step aside here and give the people what they want because this man continues to just be chanted at everyone that steps in the ring at all times. So I guess we're all just in CM Punk's world, and that's fine, I guess. But here's the question I have, Jimmy. Drew is saying that CM Punk is writing a check that he can't cash. I ask you, is the WWE writing a check that might not be able to be cashed? Because all me hating this guy aside, his track record over the last couple of years is you start to build something around him and an injury happens, right? He's a little advanced in age. Yep. He's got a lot of injury history. Are we any bit worried about this?
I don't think you see CM.
I'll take this.
Whoa! All right, let's go.
I will take this. I don't think we'll have to worry too much, Rod, because he will have another injury because he's got to go through Drew, and Drew's going to make sure that CM Punk is not in that locker room for very long at all. So even if he does come back, I believe it's probably going to be short term, and then we won't have to worry about him for a while again.
So I think. Yes, Chris. I love that. I think Rod is worried about getting to that point. That's why I was going to say I don't think we're going to see CM Punk wrestle too much between now and his match with Drew. I don't think so. He'll have a couple of small things here and there, maybe a tag here and there, something. But they're not going to do too much. I think they're going to get this match in, Rod. They are.
Well, speaking of CM Punk, and also I mentioned the Janitors League, otherwise known as AEW earlier, like those dudes are making a huge mistake if they air that backstage footage. All right. As not a fan of CM Punk as I am, they're making a huge mistake if they air that footage because you gain nothing from it. It's maybe a one-time pop, but you have nowhere to go. It makes you look like a clown show organization because that went on underneath your roof. Then it makes you seem like a clown show because you're trying to get pub off of it. I mean, just they should not air that footage, Jimmy. I hope they don't.
They're going to. Tony Khan's doubled down on it. And for those of you watching or listening who don't know too much about it, CM Punk and Jack Perry, used to be known as Jungle Boy, had an altercation backstage. And Tony Khan said he feared for his life at one point. This altercation led to CM Punk being fired. Brian Danielson is on a committee that they have, a wrestler and a couple lawyers that reviewed it, a disciplinary committee. And this video got CM Punk fired. It did. So CM Punk then goes on a show, Ariel Helwani last week, saying some stuff that, wasn't that big of a deal and kind of went around it. The folks at AEW think that that's not true. They are going to air the footage. And Rod, you and I don't see eye to eye on a lot of stuff in AEW. I give them a lot more credit than you do. This is the dumbest thing you can possibly do. This is admitting you're a second-rate organization. Do not show it. What is the best thing you can show is CM Punk acting in the alpha role over Jack Perry, one of your youngest stars, and your boss and the owner. That's the best that can come out of this. So why would you you know what? You could maybe even convince me to tweet it out, a portion of it, but you're taking valuable airtime to show this to the world. I don't understand the thought other than ego, other than just being too much.
We're just all playing in the dirt, right, Jim? I mean, we're just all playing in the dirt, right? Like, let's just be honest about it here. We're just all playing in the dirt. All news coverage, right? I mean, sports podcasts, we're guilty of it, right? We want to talk about who's being traded and some intrigue here and there, right?
Sure.
We all want the spice. So AEW's fallen into it, but you need to understand when you are making yourself, and I hate this kind of talk, Jim, but you're right, looking like a beta. And that's exactly what AEW is doing here. Exactly what they're doing. And you should not be the one programming yourself to look like a beta. That shouldn't be what you're on television to do.
This reminds me of when the WWE did the Hulkster and Scream Gene or whatever, where they stupid, just not the Nacho Man.
Or when Bischoff
Fake
rode
Diesel
out on the motorcycle. Yeah, or when Bischoff rode out on the motorcycle, that one ended up blowing up in his face pretty good, right? When he came out there just crowing at everybody.
Yeah, not good. Chris, any thoughts on this? Do you know much about this one? This is totally in the woods here.
Yeah, don't know much, but I will say this. If they are releasing something that may be inflammatory to somebody who works for another organization, you are doing nothing but then making your fans want to go watch that other organization's product to see how they respond or what they may be up to.
In a match?
See, I don't know. The one thing I will say about AEW, Jim, while we're on the topic here, is those fans are stone cold loyal, Chris. I mean, those dudes,
sure.
like, they want to fight, right? Like they know CM Punk's over in WWE, but they believe they are the true wrestling, right? We're keeping the sanctity of wrestling. Basically, Gunther and Imperium's gimmick in WWE is like the ethos and heart of all AEW.
Speaking of a trio, if you will, we had Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits against the Final Testament. And let me tell you, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was exactly what it needed to be. A couple quick things. Damn that table. It's not their fault. The table broke. They had to get another one in there to beat Karrion Kross. That's fine. What happened to AOP? They just left apparently and let Karrion Kross get killed. I had a lot of fun with this match, Chris. How about you?
Oh yeah, anytime I get to see Montez Ford doing some acrobatic stuff, dang near jumping into the crowd, off the corner. So I'm for it. I'm with you. Those guys must have glass jaws. Scarlett got up and moved quicker after going into a table than what they did. So, I mean, if I was Karrion Kross, I'd get some new acolytes to follow me around.
Maybe the acolytes. Huh? Sorry.
No, you know who I was actually going to do, Jimmy? You know who he should maybe look up? He should look up those luchadors that came out of the ring to help Rey Mysterio, right? Maybe Jason Kelsey, maybe Lane Johnson. Those guys were absolute brutes. I mean,
Oh,
they
we
were
didn't
just
forget to mention
towering over everybody.
That
in
was
the ring when
awesome.
they got in there.
Yeah,
Lane
that was
Johnson
so
made
fun.
everybody look small.
That was
Everybody.
So that was such a
But
good
here's
match.
the thing. Here's the thing. Karrion Kross, good for you, buddy. Good for you. You got a bit of a WrestleMania shine there. Jimmy and I are huge fans of you. I get that your hair is at a weird stage where like you desperately want it to be long, but it's not quite long.
Not
right
there
now.
yet.
Trust me, I know something about that. My hair is still gorgeous and flowing and curly, but Scarlett's best work on film ever. BFAB, I see you. And the only problem I have with the match is Karrion Kross made it a huge point on SmackDown to say, "You see, Bobby, now nobody goes to WrestleMania," and then they were all at WrestleMania. So I don't. I don't.
Yeah, that was
I'll
kind
leave
of a
aside.
weird. That's kind of
I'll
weird
leave
what
that
happened
aside.
there. LA Knight, AJ Styles had a solid match back and forth. I enjoyed it. I want to watch it again because I was pulled away for a little bit of this, but good win for LA Knight. Got a nice reaction. I think AJ Styles is someone who then can move up maybe to a world championship run coming up if they want to have some good matches and a program maybe over the summer would be nice. And then LA Knight. Logan Paul's still there. I think LA Knight, Logan Paul, maybe in Cleveland. I don't know. Something. Rod, are you a little nervous about LA Knight here moving forward?
Yes. I believe Chris is going to start feeling towards me and LA Knight the way he feels about me and the Sacramento Kings because LA Knight can't wrestle. LA Knight can't
They did
wrestle.
a good job. Come on.
I'm sorry.
They
AJ
were-
Styles
they were
wrestled
good.
circles around him, Jimmy.
Of
And
course
now I
AJ
know AJ
Styles.
Styles is I get it. Okay. But LA Knight can't wrestle. And here's the other problem. He's a little bit too corny. The Rock got away with it, but I'm not so sure LA Knight's going to be able to get away with it. He's a little too corny. He's getting a little too far out over his skis. He's tripping up now almost every time he gets on a microphone where he gets a little too far or fumbles his words. I don't know, man. I don't know where we can go with LA Knight. I'm starting to be nervous. I think I might be off the bus.
Chris, get me back on the bus. Come on, buddy.
1-0. The streak has begun. LA
Let's
Knight
go.
is undefeated
Yes.
in WrestleMania
Yeah.
matches.
Yeah. Man, dude, you are just amazing on every level. And this is me talking to you and our 9 viewers right now. Chris King is amazing. I love Chris. I love LA Knight too.
We got 9? Hell yeah. Shout out to you, 9. That's big for us. Let's go.
We appreciate you. Throw something in the chat. We'll talk about it. Logan Paul, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens. Oh, first of all, wait a minute. Snoop Dogg. We forgot to talk about Snoop Dogg.
Oh, he was fabulous. Let's get Snoop Dogg on commentary.
What was that? That was Katie was watching. My wife was watching with us. She's like, "What is he saying?" It was terrific. Oh, Snoop Dogg was so good.
If only they did wrestling commentary that way, right? Like Snoop Dogg was basically just reacting only to what he saw, right? Yeah, like if they only did it that way, I'm sure it would get old after a little while. Like we need, the guys doing what they do. But man, I love me some Snoop Dogg there. I don't know that I'm gonna buy Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop, but always love seeing Snoop with the gold belt there.
But they are back together, collaborating again. I think in the studio, according to Pat McAfee, who broke a lot of news, including Roman Reigns leukemia.
Come to the Yeah We Know podcast and Jimmy Jamriska for all your breaking hip hop news, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go.
Shocking Logan Paul wins after Randy Orton RKO's Kevin Owens and then gets thrown out there. Logan Paul is going to be insufferable for the next few months because he beat both Kevin Owens and Randy Orton in the same night. And I'm here for it, Chris. I know you hate Logan Paul.
Yeah, I hate him. Great heel.
Not even joking around. I love it.
Nope. Don't care for him at all. I can't wait for LA Knight to kick his butt and take his title. I hope that's what's on the agenda next for our superhero superstar, Rod.
Yeah.
No, I thought this was a great match. I like watching. Listen, you guys. I was slow to get on the Kevin Owen train. You guys kept on telling me you got to watch them fight. And that's what I did. It's the same with Orton. The more I see them in the ring, the more I enjoy watching them in the ring. Hopefully, they'll have a feud next. I think that's what's going to happen. Or am I wrong there?
I think we're gonna get Randy Orton. I honestly think we're gonna get Randy Orton and Logan Paul at SummerSlam. That's the bigger match. And I think Logan Paul is gonna win. I don't know, Rod.
No, Logan Paul is going to continue rolling. All right. He's going to continue rolling with this because whether Chris likes it or not, whether the haters like it or not, Logan Paul elevates the United States Championship. All right. He does. He elevates the United States Championship. He makes it seem like a bigger deal. And we just saw what that can do. All right. We're going to get to my guy on my t-shirt here, right? In his reign. And essentially anyone who came in contact with him is now better for it, right? Like that is a huge part of wrestling. And Logan Paul brings that heat. He brings those eyeballs. He brings those headlines from other places that might not cover wrestling. He gets to wear the championship belt all around the places.
Yep.
And the way they write him is perfect because you're supposed to hate him as a heel. So, of course, he's not going to win clean. And also, even though he looks great in the ring, he's not a fully trained wrestler who has years and years of experience. I think the way they write him is brilliant. I loved it. Chef's kiss. Kevin Owens is destined to be this guy, Chris. That's the other thing that you're going to learn about Kevin Owens. What happened to Kevin Owens at WrestleMania is what always happens to Kevin Owens. You're fired up for him. You're like, maybe it's going to happen for KO, and it never happens for KO. That's why it was such a huge deal last year when he won the tag belts with Sammy.
But guess what? He's going to have one more run in him. I can feel it. Please have one more run. I would love that. Hey, here's an idea on the Final Testament. What if we send them down to NXT? What if we send them down and beat the crap out of Axiom, who just won the title, and they just did that? Final Testament looks like they're going to NXT. Karrion Kross came out after Axiom beat Braun Breaker, your boy, and your other boy, Constable Corbin, for the tag team championships. So Breaker obviously coming up. That may be a good place for the Final Testament just to get some more work in down there.
Yeah, man, I could see Final Testament rolling up with Dijaks and some of those other big boys down there in NXT, right? Get Baron Corbin, burn the ships. Absolutely. Let's go.
There is a big pyramid in Bailey's hometown that is kind of well known, like a big Egyptian thing. That's what that was, just so everyone knows. Bailey and Io Sky.
Oh, wait a minute. I love how you guys are going to immediately give the context here for Bailey, but Seth Rollins, we go on this diatribe about how he looks foolish.
I
but
did it
Bailey,
because you
we're gonna
yelled at me the
immediately
last
give
time.
the
Fine.
context.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hey, I'll just fix this in post. So Bailey comes down in weird, like Egyptian thing. What's going on?
Looked ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The mask those guys were wearing is ridiculous. I can't believe people would choose to wear such ostentatious things to the ring.
It's disgusting. But what wasn't disgusting was the match. I love the match. It was fantastic. They both did a fantastic job. Io Sky might have had her best match in WWE, and I really enjoyed that a lot. And
speaking
Bayley,
of entrances, Io Sky really had me convinced for a second she was drunk walking down to the ring.
That's her thing.
Well, she was. So. It was late. She was tired. Okay, but again,
she's going to do that moonsault.
Having people smile at WrestleMania is awesome, and Bayley getting her huge win. This was her first singles match at WrestleMania, I think, is what they said.
Singles match win.
Yeah. So I think that Bayley's going to have a nice little run in her. We did not get the hugger, if you will, but it's okay. I think we're okay here.
You know what I heard, and shout out to my guy David Shoemaker over on the Ringer for pointing this out. Right, we had CM Punk still involved at WrestleMania, who was the guy who was second in the men's Royal Rumble, but the female who was second in the female Royal Rumble was not involved in WrestleMania. And I found that kind of interesting, right? That we still found a way to give CM Punk some shine. But Liv Morgan, sorry about you. You got second at the Royal Rumble, which means you're out completely of WrestleMania.
Hey, she had her shot. Didn't get there. Sorry about it.
I also thought the Queen, Jimmy. I thought we were going to see the Queen this WrestleMania weekend. And since we're on the last women's match that happened, I thought we were going to see the Queen here. I really did.
Yeah, I don't think enough time, and that's fine.
Then I thought we were going to see her on the Raw after, because she keeps teasing us with all of her workout footage on Twitter. Andrade's back. Let's go. I want the Queen, Jimmy. If Seth Rollins is going away, I need something. Give it to me.
Chris, anything for Bayley and Io Sky?
No, I guess I like the belt on Bayley more than I like it on Io Sky.
I think we're going to get a little bit more. Obviously, Bayley now can go against Kyrie, go against Asuka, go against Dakota as well. So that's the next couple of months right there for Bailey to go through all of Damage Control as champion. No interference, I thought was good as well. We already talked a lot about the main event, but I think we do need to put our fingers up real quick. We do need to acknowledge what a run. What a run that Roman Reigns had to main event 4 consecutive WrestleManias and retain. That's amazing. And, for going through what he's going through on a personal level, to keep that heat up, to keep the people caring about you so much, all this bloodline. I mean, the bloodline, he's even had 4 or 5 different storylines going on. He's one of the best. And I think we need to talk about that, Rod.
I think that it's the embodiment of the gimmick being real life, right? Roman stepping to the ring, saying, "Acknowledge me," means so much, right? It refers to his early days and when people didn't appreciate him and he was shoved down the throats and they didn't like him. It sort of refers to, hey, I had friggin' leukemia and came back for you people. Acknowledge me. And it also speaks to his greatness, right? And you have to do it. And it's what I talked about earlier. Guys that came in contact with Roman were elevated because of it, right? Jimmy and Jay Uso, top of the card players. Solo Sikoa comes up from NXT, fights John Cena in an almost main event, right? Main event player. Sami Zayn gets huge shine off of his time in his feud with the Bloodline. KO got elevated having a huge feud with the Bloodline, right? If you came in contact with Roman Reigns during this run, you were better for it. Now, nobody got to get a win and wear a belt around their waist, but they had good times. They had good gates. You know what I mean? They had high fan visibility. So all love to Roman Reigns. And don't forget, Jimmy, 9 WrestleMania main events, taking that record from Hogan at least, since clearly he's not going to get the other one.
Correct. Chris.
So I know my take's going to be a little bit different because I didn't see Roman before he had started this run. I didn't see him in the Shield. I didn't see him come back from leukemia. I have only known this person as the guy who has had a stranglehold on the belts of WWE for this entire time. And I started out just rooting against him, wanting him to lose. And I'm going to tell you, they were close for me not caring about him or the bloodline anymore because I just figured he was going to win no matter what. So, but I'll give him the flowers that you guys says he deserves, because if he has been able to do this, if he's been able to keep the gate up after COVID, especially to help us get to the spot we are now, then yeah, he deserves that praise.
Have you watched the
Jimmy.
Shield documentary yet, Chris?
Oh, yeah, good call.
No, I have not.
It's good stuff. You should watch it. Jimmy, when he comes back, right? When he comes back, it's going to be a huge deal, right? I hope that he just comes back with a surprise, right? Don't give us the bullshit that I know the Fox executives are going to want, where they say, hey, we want to say that Roman's going to appear on this SmackDown. Don't do that. Have Roman absolutely come out of nowhere, and that place will explode. That place will explode. All right. And if you want Roman Reigns to be over as a babyface, let him be gone for a little while, which is ultimately what he wants and what everybody used to hate him for, right? Absence makes the heart grow fonder. He's not the champ anymore. Have him be gone. When that music hits for the first time in a couple of months in a big spot, place is going to go ballistic.
It'll have to be The Rock doing something heinous to someone. Maybe talking down to Solo or something. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, that music hits, or maybe even Roman just comes in, no music at all. I think they'll hit the music though. I want to talk briefly about the Raw after WrestleMania.
Fail.
Well, it's weird. The Raw after WrestleMania the past few years has been good. I thought it'd be different this time around. We did get, like I said, a WrestleMania main event set up for next year, if not before.
Great, Jimmy, hold on. Let me cook here from the beginning. All right.
Okay.
You've got an hour commercial free. You've got an hour commercial free in the Raw after WrestleMania. Jimmy, everything you say is correct. Us wrestling trucists, if that's a word, we know all of this stuff to be, okay? But you and I both know There's a boatload of casuals that tuned in last night because they didn't have Peacock. They couldn't get WrestleMania.
Huge rating.
Right, I know. But and they saw stuff across social media and they tuned in last night. And for an hour of commercial free, we gave them 3 people talking. Now, I'm smart enough to know that these are 3 huge stars, Triple H, The Rock, and Cody Rhodes. But we gave the casuals who tuned in after WrestleMania 45 minutes of talking. Now, I also will be willing to give that I bet that thing ran 5 to 6 minutes long because the Philly crowd was unhinged. And I'm sure that made things go differently than the WWE thought. And I'll go back to you here. But Jimmy, you cannot give people no wrestling for that long when they're tuning in after WrestleMania.
I wonder if they would have started off with Nakamura and Dragunov, because that was a pretty cool match. The crowd would have been even more hot for Dragunov coming in. He's your boy. We know you love some Dragunov and Gunther going against each other. I think if they maybe started off with that, or started off with some kind of a match. I always like starting off a match over in-ring interviews, but I think, Chris, we were going to definitely get Cody talking, right?
I think it was a foregone conclusion that we were going to get a segment of Cody, probably The Rock. I didn't know we'd get Triple H too. I'm with you. I always give me some action first to whet my appetite and get me hooked into the show.
I'd love to whet your appetite with some action, Chris. Other than that, yeah, nothing major really throughout the show. Cargill had her one.
Jimmy, hold on. Come on, hold on. I know we're about to wrap up here, but Jimmy, how much do you think The Rock had to pivot in that ring? Because I think he thought, and the WWE thought, he was going to roll in that ring and everybody was going to kind of give him his flowers because the Cody story ended up the way they wanted it anyway. Cody got his belt. They're still going to realize that The Rock is a huge star. They're going to be sad to see him go. And that is not the way the Philadelphia fans chose to handle it last evening.
I think they thought it was going to be like that. I didn't think it was going to be they weren't going to let him talk. You saw it like the first 5 or 6 times it was the case, and then Rock kind of bled it a little longer, to stop talking a few more times. But my question to you guys, real quick, what did Rock give Cody? What did he give Cody? He broke The Rock's heart. What did Rock give Cody?
He gave him that little totem thing that Leonardo DiCaprio has at the end of Inception, right? That little thing that like supposedly is the big key to that movie, which I absolutely do not understand. That's what I think he gave him because I don't understand what he's talking about.
Okay. Chris?
I don't know what he's talking about. Maybe it's that little idol from the Brady Bunch, since we're just naming things from pop culture.
Current pop culture as well, so that's good. I wonder if it's some kind of a receipt for something that Cody pawned back in the day or something like, because they talked about the watch a lot. The watch that they gave Cody Rhodes afterwards, his dad's watch, if you will, or a similar one.
The watch that his dad supposedly pawned to get Cody acting.
So I think it's the same model of watch, but not the watch. We need a little bit more clarification because there's no,
like anything in wrestling lore, right, Jimmy? Like anything in wrestling lore, one person will have one story, another will have another.
Clarification on that for sure. So, it was a lot of wrestling.
I know it's
also the main event got squeezed. Let's just talk about that real quick.
No, it did.
The main event got squeezed, and that's the only thing I cared about, Jimmy. The only thing I really cared about, because I got to be honest, and we'll get into this more as we go on. I am over Cody Rhodes. I have no need for a white meat baby face whatsoever. So fine, Cody, do your thing. Get out of my way and show me where we're headed in the main event, a 4-way main event that was full of some guys that I'd like to see. Bronson Reed's hot right now. Ricochet's been on a complete streak. You got Drew McIntyre, who maybe he really did want to kill somebody last night. I don't know. And we did not get a chance to take advantage of any of that because the Philadelphia crowd thought they'd be cool and try to shout down The Rock.
And with that, you've been listening to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the More You Knows podcasting network. You're in the ring with Jimmy, Rod, and Chris.
Goodbye, net. Yeah.
Let's go, yeet. Let's go, yeet.
Thanks for watching and listening, everybody. We really appreciate you.
Much love.